So today we're going to continue annotating. You're going to continue working on chapter 8. I'm showing you an excerpt here from chapter 3. Yesterday I shared an example where I wrote a jot about a particular character trait I felt Claudette has, that she's a very determined person, and then I showed you my reasons why I thought that. Today I'm going to focus more on an event that I feel really changed Claudette's life. This was the time when her young classmate, Jeremiah Reeves, was convicted of raping a white woman. We never really know whether Jeremiah actually did this or whether he was actually just forced to confess by the white police. So I'm going to continue reading on this section that has this event in it. Let me see if I can point out exactly where I'm reading here. And then I'm going to react to it and write a jot so you can model that when you're working at home. After a brief trial, an all-white jury sentenced Reeves to death in the electric chair. This brought blacks throughout Alabama to a boiling point. Even if Reeves was guilty of the charges, something few blacks believed. He hadn't killed anyone. Why should he pay with his life? Blacks knew that no white man accused of a similar crime against a black woman would have been convicted at all, let alone sentenced to die. The verdict radicalized many students at Booker T. Washington High. Reeves was a popular senior, widely admired as a talented drummer. He hadn't fled from the police. In fact, he had turned himself in. Everyone had always predicted Jeremiah Reeves would go somewhere special. Now he wasn't going anywhere at all. Unless something could be done, he would languish on death row until he turned 21 and became legally old enough to take the short walk from his cell to the electric chair. Jeremiah's plight pulled Claudette's attention away from her own personal difficulties to the injustices blacks faced everywhere. She went to rallies, wrote letters to him in prison, and collected money for his legal defense. The effort to support Jeremiah Reeves became the first time that many black teenagers in Montgomery ever acted to address injustices outside their own personal problems. Claudette Colvin was one of those teens. Okay, so I think this is a really significant event in her life, and I'm having a lot of noticings about it. So that's what I'm going to make my jot about on this section. Okay, so let me see here. I'm going to go to, let me pull this down a little bit. Make sure that I'm in the right spot here underneath the text. Okay, so I'm going to go to insert. Remember, I am pretending to have sticky notes. You guys could be doing this with sticky notes, or you could be typing right in a doc your reactions to the text. But I'm trying to make a pretend sticky note so that you can kind of get the idea of what to do. All right, so I'm going to go in here to drawing and just make a box that's like a sticky note shape. And I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking about this part. Okay, so what I'm noticing here is I'm noticing that Claudette is becoming an activist for the first time. So right here, 8th graders, I'm noticing that this is really the first time that she is actually really taking a stand for some of these terrible things that are happening to blacks in her community because of this specific event. Okay, so I'm just going to put JR's for Jeremiah Reeves. JR's arrest and later conviction on the rape charge kind of mobilized her, right? Got her going. It sent her into action. She became an advocate for JR's defense. Okay, let's see. I'm just rereading that quickly. I'm noticing that Claudette is becoming an activist for the first time. JR's arrest and later conviction on the rape charge mobilized her. She became an advocate for JR's defense. Okay, I think that's good for one thought, for one sticky note. So I'm going to save that, and it goes right into my document here. And like I said, this is just one This would be like one of my entries or one of my thoughts about what's happening with Claudette. We're trying to collect a bunch of these so that as we move towards our writing, we have things to look back on and kind of decide what our thesis statement is going to be when we write about Claudette Colvin.